All right, we're on live now. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody, and happy National Home Buyers Month. So we have been enjoying this month. I've been doing some daily things. I am Marva Morris, your New Jersey realtor, moving you forward. Thank you to everyone for joining us today, and anyone who's going to be joining us on Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I stated, this is Home Buyers Month, National Home Buyers Month. So wanted to just bring on our mortgage specialist today. Her name is Nicole Archibald, and she is going to also be talking to us today about just the whole mortgage, giving us some tips on things that we need to do with the mortgage, and also just sharing any questions that you guys may have. She'll be willing to answer those also. So I am going to allow Nicole to introduce herself.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Nicole from Wells Fargo, and I assist people with getting residential home loans. So I'm your gal if you have questions.
Great. So I guess we're going to go through some of the things that we've already talked about because it is National Home Buyers Month. I did say that. And also, this is going to be our last session with the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, just for I guess you can kind of call it the calendar year, and then we'll be picking back up again in the fall. But I wanted to, Nicole, just kind of go over a few things that we've already talked about. And so people getting pre-qualified or pre-approved, what's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval, and the importance?
Yes. So a pre-qualification is basically when you speak with a mortgage professional and kind of verbally overview the items that you have on your credit report and say, hey, you know what, I think I have about $600 in credit card debt. My credit score is roughly about, 695. And I make about $2,000 a week, whatever your income is. So that's basically what a pre-qualification is. You can easily get a pre-qualification with no problem, especially if you have those numbers. Now, a pre-approval is a little bit different, means you took it one step further and you guys basically pulled a credit report. You had a mortgage professional look at your income documents and all of your credentials and kind of deem what you're saying valid. And that makes things just a little bit more finite in a sense where the system has actually generated you a pre-approval letter, and based off of the numbers that you provided and the mortgage professional's view of the documents you provided.
Very good. So people usually want to know, people usually don't want to move forward with buying a home because they feel like, they need to have at least 20% down of the amount of money needed as a deposit. So is that true? Can you only get a loan if you have 20% down?
No, that is not true. So there's several different loan programs that are available to people. Once you speak to a mortgage professional based off your area, they can let you know what's available and also based off of what your credit profile looks like. But we have programs. Most lenders have programs as little as 3% down or 0% down, depending on the area. You can go with a USDA loan, which would require no money down, and or a VA loan. And then secondly, you would want to go with either a conventional or FHA loan. Those are your next two options with the least amount of down payment. The conventional loans, they can start as low as 3%. Your FHA loan can start as little as 3.5%. So there's a lot of different options available to people. You just have to kind of figure out what's best for you in your financial situation.
Excellent. That info. Now, what if I don't have any money down, but my mom has saved for me and she's got like $15,000 to give me towards a down payment of a home? That's kind of her gift to me. How does that work?
Yeah, so there's definitely areas of opportunity, I'll say. If you have family members that are willing to help you with purchasing a home, you can definitely use gift funds as an option. There's no limit to how much you can receive. So the more, the better, obviously. If you have some of your own funds saved up, that does look a lot nicer on your application. Even if you are receiving a gift, it's okay. But obviously, an underwriter would like to see that you have a good savings pattern or savings history on your own, as well as receiving a gift, just meaning that you have more assets available. When it comes to assets, I feel like a lot of people kind of don't know what the options are, unfortunately. And I've seen some people have a huge opportunity when it comes to their 401k, for example, or their retirement plan. You can also dip into that. I mean, most of the time you should be able to just speak to your carrier and they'll be able to let you know what the penalties are and what they aren't if you are withdrawing for a home or borrowing from your retirement for a home. It's definitely a nice resource to have because a lot of people don't realize they have that aside from getting a gift or something like that. So the more assets you have, you may not have cash liquid in the bank, but if you have a retirement plan, that's always welcomed.
Excellent, excellent. So, so typically people go, they come apply, they're ready to get a mortgage, they're excited, they're getting a new home. So, I find a home, I put in an offer, it's accepted. So now I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I want to go out and I want to buy furniture. So, I go out and I start looking and I apply for the card at the furniture store, like the Ashleys or whatever. So I want you to kind of share with us today, what are the do's or don'ts when you are applying, when you've applied for a mortgage and you're actually, in that process and ready to buy a house? Give us a few do's and don'ts.
So one of the first things that I do is I disclose if you're in the middle of a loan process, do not do anything to your credit profile. It stresses me out when you said that. It really stresses me out. So some people would be in between a lease or in the middle of buying a new car, for example, or they just want a new credit card. Or they, like you said, want to purchase furniture for their new home and they haven't closed on it yet. Whenever you make any changes to your credit financial picture, I'd rather say, whenever you make changes to that financial picture, then if something were to happen, if there were any delays in the home buying process and we need to pull a new copy of your credit report, that will then change your credit score. And sometimes that can deem you ineligible for whatever rate you had, or it can make you ineligible at all, period. So depending on what your credit score is. So you want to be very cognizant if you're purchasing a property. Do not make any changes to your credit profile. Sorry, my voice is like a little hoarse, so I'm trying my best. So do not make any changes to your credit profile. That's just the best rule of thumb that most lenders are going to tell you. Because once you make that change, and let's say something happens and we need to pull a new copy of that credit report and something changes drastically, then that changes the whole game of what we already just started with. So don't do that. Try not to do that.
So no new cars, no furniture. So if you have cash to buy furniture, that's okay though, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, a lot of times people want to, just get a head start and it's understood. But I always tell my clients, do not do anything until you have those keys in your hand. Because if something happens, you just never know. I mean, there's just so many things that can happen between contract and, closing day. You just never know. It's just the most random things. So whatever you can do to avoid that, then I would say go for that. If you'd like to buy furniture, just wait until you get your keys and then go to the furniture store or, click submit on that application for your credit if you want to finance it. But yes, wait if you can.
Perfect. So one thing that I want to recommend and say to everyone is if you're thinking about buying a home, the first thing that you need to make sure that you do, kind of what your budget is. You need to sit down and just have a discussion with your realtor and a mortgage person. And it's not going to commit you to anything. It gives you a clear picture of where you are. And then it also allows Nicole to help you. If there's something that you have that you need to work on, you might need a couple of months to do that. You might be able to fix something in 2 weeks, depending on what it is. But we never know until you sit down and talk to a professional. And it's free to do. It's a consultation. It's no charge. You get to just talk. And trust me, there is nothing that we haven't seen. Sometimes everybody gets worried because you think your situation is different and you think, oh, my credit is so bad. And, we have all been there. We have all been, we have school loans, we have different things. We've seen it all. So don't worry about it. We're definitely in a judgment-free zone. We will not judge you. We are here to help you reach your goals and want to definitely make sure that you are comfortable moving forward in everything, you know, your whole financial situation and your credit situation. So Nicole, with regards to that, like what kind of things would you say to people? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I would say if you have questions, like it's better to have the knowledge, even if you're not ready. Like, let's say you're looking to buy, I don't know, in 6 months or maybe next year, just contact somebody and ask the questions. You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to hurt you if you just get the information, number one. Number two, almost anybody you come across in this industry is never going to judge you. We honestly are here to help. A lot of people are here because we have a good passion for the business, and there's a reason behind that. So we're definitely not here to judge you. We're definitely not here to make you feel bad about buying a house. Our job is to help you and encourage you buy a house. So, of course, like with my clients, I try to be their biggest cheerleader and let them know, like, hey, you can do this. It's not, it is really scary. It's a grown up decision. It's a grown up step forward, and it's a lot. It's overwhelming and it's very stressful. I try to give that kind of disclaimer, if you will, and let people know, like, hey, it is going to be a trip, but you can definitely do it. People do it all the time. I've come across several different scenarios, and I try to prepare my clients and buyers as best I can, even if it's just an inquiry. Hey, just so you know, if you're looking to fix your credit, maybe you should just be aware of this. All the, you know, the inquiries are going to reflect, and they may ask you about that when you do your application. Just be prepared. Most of the time, it's a lot of poking and prying and just saying, hey, is this person a good, responsible person financially, so that they can repay the loan? That's the main goal in most of the, you know, loan approvals, the ability to repay. So if you don't have that ability to repay, that's the concerning issue. If you have great income, if you have your great, you know, reasonable credit score, and you have a reasonable savings and or gift, then all of those things comprise your package up. So I try to encourage people, hey, just get the information. We're going to walk you through it and hold your hand every step of the way, especially if you're new and you've never done this before. So it is, like I said, scary, but we're here to answer all the questions that you could possibly have, walk you through it, and then we'll protect you if something does come up in, you know, the best way that we know how.
Excellent. Thanks, Nicole. So I guess I do have something for everyone. I have a complimentary book. The actual links will be in the bottom of the comments field later on today. We'll add them on Facebook. So it's called The Complete Guide to Home Buying. Gives you all of little tips and gives you all the information, different steps and different things that you need to get done during the home buying process. So just click on that. You can get a live copy, a hard copy of the book, or you can get an online version. So just wanted to put that out there. So something else. I don't know if we have any questions in Facebook. I can't see, but if we do, let us know. You can put them in the chat so we can see them, or just tell us live. That would be fine. So another thing people are concerned about is their credit score. So I want to buy a home eventually, but my credit score is like a 610, and I don't think that's high enough for me to get a home. So, you know, what do you say to people who, so what would we want to say to people who won't even reach out to us because they feel their credit score is too low? If I have a 610 credit score, what are my odds of being able to purchase a home?
I mean, honestly, it's just, I try to encourage, it doesn't matter, just ask. You know what I mean? You never know. It's almost like one of those things where you go apply for a job and you're afraid because you look at the qualifications and you're like, oh, I may not qualify for this job, and I don't have maybe a degree, or I don't have whatever, you know, whatever the requirements are. There's people that definitely are in those positions that don't have a degree. So you don't ever want to limitate yourself to something that's in your own head. You never know. So in most cases, when you're applying for a loan, you can, some lenders will go down to a 550 credit score. You just have to find that right lender for you. So just because you don't have a 620 or a 700 or 800, like these, you know, credit card commercials are advertising, that's okay. We can still work around those confines. Like I said, there's more than just your credit score that requires you to be approved for a loan. So just because your credit score may not be there, it may be just a couple of small things, like you mentioned earlier, that a buyer may have to do just to increase their score pretty quickly. And you may see an increase in 30 to 45 days. So I think that if you don't have a 620 credit score like most people think you should have, it's okay. Go to a professional, let them direct you, let them tell you. We all work in the business with other people. We have other colleagues that we refer clients to. So if there's a program that I have that, or there's a program that doesn't benefit you, let's say I'm helping you, Marva, and you're trying to buy a property and you come up just shy of 620 and you may not have, the proper income to qualify for the loan amount that you'd like. I'll say, you know what, there's a couple brokers that I know. Let me see if I can call them and get them in the mix and get a second and third opinion. I will definitely do that. And most of us will, because we want to see our clients strive for the best and we want to see them get into those homes. So we're never going to just sit there and tell you, no, you don't qualify, catch you when it's better. You know what I mean? We're definitely going to help you. We're going to say, do this, do that, or call this person, at least let them walk you through it, get a second opinion, and then we'll figure out what the whole solution can be from there. If you don't qualify, I mean, like I said, there might be another lender that has a better program for you. So I would say it doesn't matter what you think it is until you speak to someone and actually get that hard information. Just go ahead and ask. You never know.
Excellent, excellent. That brings a good point, because sometimes we have people with non-traditional employment situations. So a business owner is not going to be treated the same way as someone, if they kind of pay themselves as someone who might have a job with a regular, paycheck stub for every week and that kind of thing. So no matter what your situation, reach out to us. Nicole made a great point that if she can't help you, she's going to know someone who can, because in the industry we do talk, so we might be able to have other people who can help finance your particular situation. So thank you. Thank you so much. So I don't know anyone joining us late. It is National Homebuyers Month, and I am Marva Morris, and I am talking with Nicole Archibald, who is a Wells Fargo mortgage rep. And we are just talking about a couple of things that well, I don't know why.
What you come across every day.
Right, what you come across every day as a home buyer. So we're just trying to touch base and give you a few things that will give you some pointers towards things that you're going to need when you're buying a home, things you need to know. And we're looking for, if you have any questions, anything at all, let us know and we will answer them for you. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else, Nicole, that you would see that's something that may come up that people never ask you, but it comes up often enough that you think, you know what, this might be something that I have to mention.
Yes, actually I should. There's a couple things. So when you're doing your application, the first thing I want to say is just try to be as honest as you possibly can with your mortgage rep. The reason I say that is because a lot of times we'll have customers that are saying, no, I'm good, everything's good. And then we pull their credit report and we see a bankruptcy. And you might not be outside of that waiting period. And most of the time when you get a bankruptcy, I know that's a lot of, it's a lot. And not that we honestly care. We don't care what happened. The purpose of us helping you is to get you in a house now. So if you had a bankruptcy, we just need to know about it so we can advise you on if this is something you can even move forward with or not, for example. So if you're outside of the waiting period or not, then we can kind of direct that. And we need to know what kind of paperwork you need. So if you don't tell us, then we don't know, and it comes up in underwriting, it's just going to delay your file. And right now, because everything is so busy, it's the spring market, things are going to start buzzing very soon. Tax time just passed. A lot of people are getting their refunds back and everybody wants to be out in the market. And right now, the shorter time it takes for you to close a home, the better your odds are of getting an offer accepted, because there's so many offers on the table with one property now. So the more you can do to, reduce that time and reduce your waiting in underwriting and getting your approval, the better. Second thing I want to mention is legal names. I've seen a lot of people do their applications with names that they use or names that they go by. And unfortunately, when it comes to title work and when it comes to legal things, especially with the loan, your name has to match. So if we find something that's odd, let's say my name is Nicole, but I used Nikki on my application. Nikki's not my legal name. So if I provide my driver's license when it comes time to closing, and that notary needs to see that I am Nicole Archibald, but Nikki is on the application, they're going to automatically assume that's a whole different person. So you need to be, just be aware or cognizant. Use your legal name when you're doing these applications and use your full legal name. I know some people especially people in the Latin community, they have multiple last names. That usually becomes an issue because they'll say, oh, my name is Nicole Archibald instead of Nicole Archibald Santiago, for example. If that's not your full legal name and that comes up, it's going to be an issue if those names don't match. So just be aware on the information that you're providing on your application. The more that you tell us, the more that we can protect you, the more that we can help and guide you through it. If there's something that comes up and we don't know about it, then there's nothing we can do. And the underwriter questions something and we're like, oh, I gotta call you back. So we just want to make sure we have all the information up front as best as possible. So that way we can kind of prepare your file, make sure all the notes are there. And the more information, like I said, the better. That way the underwriter doesn't have to be scrambling, keep guessing, reaching out to me or an assistant or, the processor, and somebody may not know that application. And then we're hunting you down because you're working all day. And that's just the time in the middle of the day when your file's getting reviewed and we need that question answered right away. So the more information you can provide, the better. The more honest information that you're providing and accurate information, I should say, the better. And then lastly, I would like to say, the more accurate your income information is, the better. So I'm sure, Marva, you've come across this and a lot of people don't know it, but the reason that most deals fall apart is because of income. Income is calculated the wrong way. So if someone says, how much do you make? And you say, oh, I make $60,000 a year, and you fail to disclaim, I'm a 1099 employee and I just started my job 6 months ago. Or if you say, oh, I'm a salaried employee, but I make, 20% of my income is commission. We need to know that. If you don't have commission for a certain amount of time, it will disqualify you to use that income and therefore reduce how much you're eligible for. So there's different ramifications based off your income. If you're a business owner, if you have a business, period, it may not be a business that you're actively using, but if you have something that files on your taxes and we go ahead and do your tax reporting information and that comes up, then your underwriter is probably going to ask you for a lot more tax information as far as your business is concerned. We need a profit and loss statement. We need a balance sheet. We need business bank statements, all those things. So the more accurate information you provide, the better. Long story short.
Thank you. That was a lot of information, but very good information. So thank you for that. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any. I think we've really covered quite a bit today. And we've kind of touched on a little bit of everything. So I think the biggest thing for me that I want everyone to get a takeaway from today is you always make sure that you have a conversation with a mortgage rep and your realtor just to kind of get you focused on what you may need to do to purchase a home. Don't wait. If you think you're ready, you're going to be ready to purchase a home next year. Don't wait till next year to have someone review your credit to make sure that there are not things on there that you may need to fix. Because there's nothing worse than you're ready to buy a home and now you sit down with the mortgage agent and they're telling you, oh, there's things here that you need to fix. And there are things that that's going to take you 6 months to get done. And you've already, gave up your lease, or you're about to give up your lease and you don't want to sign another year contract. So just want to make sure there's a couple of things that could fall into play. Just make sure that you are just talking to someone ASAP so they can review your financial situation and let you know what you need to do to be in tip-top shape. And once you're in tip-top shape to buy a home, trust me, anyone who's ever bought a home before, usually once you become a homeowner, you're getting all kinds of things from other people because your credit is just, they figure it's just fantastic now, phenomenal. So you're getting all these other offers. Don't take them up on that when you're paying, your mortgage should take precedence. And obviously we don't want to go above our means, but I just wanted you to know that being prepared to buy a home gets your credit in the right state to do anything else that you may want to do. So just think about that. So it's good stuff. So what I really wanted to kind of touch on is today's market too. So I will give you my version of today's market. I think today is, I did not say this yet. I cannot believe I didn't say this, Nicole, and you didn't remind me.
I'm sorry.
Good time to buy a home, everyone. Now is a great time to buy a home because the interest rates are nice and low. What's happening right now, though, is we don't have a lot of what we call inventory. So there are not a lot of homes out there for sale. So you might have heard, there people are getting like 4, 5, 10 offers on one property. If the property is in great condition, it's going to get quite a few offers. So the thing now is to remember that, you know, the asking price is the asking price. If you don't want to pay it, someone else will. So, you know, just remember that. You want to make sure that you know the areas that you want to be in. You want to make sure that you also know what you're looking for and what's important to you. Because when you start looking at homes, that's going to become important because we obviously don't want you to settle. But if there are things that you can add on later, you want to make sure that you have that information. And you have to be prepared with your mortgage pre-approval or your pre-qualification, because when you make an offer on a home, you have to have that at that point. And you can't wait until after you find a home to do that, especially in this market, because by the time you get your mortgage, you know, pre-approval, they've already accepted an offer. And some people will hold backup offers and some people won't. So just want you to know that now is definitely a great time to buy a home, but you want to make sure that you're out there looking. The interest rates are great. Don't be afraid to get your feet wet and get out there. And might take you a little longer than normal to find a home. You know, now I find I'm showing people on average 10 to 20 homes, and then we'll find one that we actually get an accepted offer for. And that may seem like a lot, but usually we do 5 to 6 each time we go out. So that's about 4 days of looking. So just think about that. Nicole, what do you think about this market today?
I think it's very aggressive. I do feel bad sometimes for some of my buyers, depending on the area that you're in, because some areas are higher than others. You know, it's just part of the game. And it may take a little bit longer to look, and some people get lucky and they get something on the first try. So I think that the market you have to be ready is the main thing, you know? So we're promoting, if you're not sure, get the information. And the whole thing is just get prepared, be ready, because when the time comes, once you get that accepted offer, it starts moving like a landslide. I mean, it just starts. We're asking for documents, we're asking for this, we're asking for that, the appraisal, the inspection, all these things just start coming very quickly. And all has to be done within 30 days for the most part, 30 to 45 days. And that as you know, time flies, especially when you have a lot of things to do. So, so yeah, just be prepared. I mean, the market's really aggressive. It's really hot. There's a lot of houses that are flying off the shelves. So if you find something that you like, jump on it and just don't hesitate. Because if you wait and say, you know what, let me think about it, it's not really a buyer's market right now. It's a seller's market. So you want to be cognizant of that. These sellers have a lot of people that are offering, that have a lot of people offering for these houses. So they definitely want to take the best offer. And sometimes, you know, that's not to be discouraging. A lot of times these sellers just want the best buyer for their home. They're not always just after the money. So if you have a good, you know, reason to purchase, let's say you're starting a family, or let's say you're a single person and you want to start a family, those things all play a factor into these offers that are going on the table. So just be ready, just be aggressive, and don't get too discouraged if you don't get your first bite. You know what I mean? I feel like that's also another part of it, where people are like, oh, I put in an offer and they want that first offer to be accepted, but it doesn't always happen on the first try. And that's okay. It's part of it's the emotional, stressful process that I try to tell my buyers comes with the home buying process, you know? Don't get too attached until you get to closing day. That's what I try to tell people. Because if not, then, you know, it's an emotional roller coaster. It's up and down. So just be ready, be alert, be aggressive, and just take it day by day.
I love it. Good advice. Good advice. So I don't want to hold you. I don't want to we're not going to stay the whole hour if we don't have any questions. We really have touched on a lot today. So anyone looking at this, pretty much, you know, just about everything possible about the mortgage process. There are other things. We're going to do appraisals and all that stuff later on in the month. I'm going to put Marva Morris Realtor, Weichert Realtors is my Facebook page. If you want to follow, that would be great. I'm going to be doing things live every day at 10. It's only 5 to 10 minutes out of your day while you have your little coffee beverage. You can come out and join me and get something different. I interview different people not daily, but at least every 2 or 3 people a week with the appraisal process, inspections, different things, a part of the home buying process, just so you can kind of get a feel for what's going on. So I want to thank Nicole for joining me today. And before I wrap it up, I want to check and make sure we don't have any questions on Facebook, because I can't see Facebook. So want to just verify, let me know yay or nay. Do we have?
There's no questions right now.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Nicole, for joining me this morning. Thank you.
Not a problem.
And the one thing I wanted to say, Nicole mentioned something earlier. The one thing that I love about Nicole and Wells Fargo is that if you have your pre-approval, they can get you closed in 30 days. And when you are buying a home in this environment, that counts. That is a big deal maker or breaker. So definitely reach out to Nicole. I'll make sure that we have her information in the comments field, so you can reach out to her if you're thinking about buying a home. Reach out to myself. My information will be there also. I am Marva Mars, your New Jersey realtor, moving you forward. Thank you so much for joining us today, and happy National Home Buyers Month.